Okay, what happened is the check engine light came on, so we went to AutoZone and had them do a reading, and they found out that it was a number 4-cylinder misfire, and so the possible cause of that might be the ignition coil or the spark plug. And what we're going to do is we're just going to replace the ignition coil in the 4-cylinder and then see if that solves the problem. Okay, so we raised the hood, and we're going to, again, this is for a 2003 Chevy Trailblazer, and we had a reading that number 4-cylinder misfire, so we're going to replace the ignition coil in cylinder number 4. All right, the first thing we need to do is just go ahead and remove the sensor. So we're going to go ahead and remove the sensor. Just pop that up and pull it out. There you go. Now there are 2 bolts that you need to remove. One is right here, the other one is in the back right here. So you'll remove those 2 bolts, remove the 2 sensors, and the 2 bands, and then you're good to go. You need to remove these hoses. So there are 2 of them. There's one here and then one on the opposite side. So that should be good. We'll come back and get that later. Then there's one over here on this side. Should be good. Then you'll use this 10 millimeter socket and remove these bolts. We're now going to remove the hose on this side, and then also pull out this other sensor. There we go. And then just go ahead and remove it. And there you can see the ignition coils. Now we need to replace number 4. So the numbering of the ignition coils is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we need to replace ignition coil number 4. So we're going to be replacing this one right here. To remove ignition coil number 4, really all you need to do is get your 10 millimeter socket again and remove this bolt. And then it should just pop right out. And you can see there's a lot of oil in here, so that might be part of the problem, might cause it to not work. So really all you need to do is go in, and there's a little latch underneath here. Just pry that up and pop it off. So you can see that right there. You just lift that up and it'll pop right off. Then just go ahead and pull it out. You can see the moisture around the ignition coil area, and we just wiped that up with a cloth. And probably the biggest problem that we had is the gasket. It probably allowed moisture to get in, and we We did see a lot of moisture inside the area. I'm going to remove the spark plug and just inspect that, make sure it's okay. One of the problems that might be is the spark plug itself. And so we'll take a look at it and see if it looks okay. But again, we did notice there was a lot of moisture, which probably damaged the ignition coil, and I'm assuming that's what the problem is. And you can see some of the moisture did leak down into the spark plug area, but the spark plug itself looks good. So we'll go ahead and use that again. Go ahead and reinstall the spark plug. There we go. So we'll get that nice and snug. Now we'll go ahead and put on the new ignition coil. I bought the ignition coil online. I think it was on Amazon. It was around $16. So you can see the gasket on this one is much better, so it should keep the water out, which we think is the problem, why the other one went bad. So you just get it nice and snug and then tighten the bolt up. Then you just go ahead and tighten up the bolt. Get it nice and snug. And there we go. Then you just put the clip back in. Make sure it clicks. There we go. Got it to click. So we should be good to go. Now we're just going to reassemble everything. Got to hook this back in, the two hoses. You just go ahead and slide those on, and then put the metal band where it's supposed to be. You can see it's supposed to slide right into that notch. Then you just go ahead and tighten it up. But before we get it too tight, we want to make sure that the other side is good to go too. So let's go ahead and make sure that it's on and ready to go. And there we have it. Now we just again slide the band back on and tighten it up. And don't forget to put the sensors back on. And if you remember, it just slides in, and then again you should hear it click. There we go. And you've got this other sensor over here. Just slide that one on. And then you just have to put on the two bolts. It's a 10mm socket. The same one that you used for the ignition coil. And we just tighten the last bolt, and then we should be good to go. And just get it nice and snug, and we're good to go.